Well, you join me in the virtual gym because we're going to do some warm-ups. Oh man, I don't want to do that. That's what you're thinking now because you just want to get onto the talking stuff. But if you're a professional athlete, and you may be watching right now, you'll know the importance of a good warm-up. And you're just not going to perform well if you don't warm up properly. And it's the same when you're a voiceover, and I get sent scripts every day. Big variety of things. They could be soft-spoken things. They could be some quite demanding dramas. They could be really hard-sell, shouty type things. You don't know what you're going to get. So your voice has got to be extremely flexible. And you can only really tackle that if you do a decent warm-up first thing in the day. And also you do a little one after lunch as well before the afternoon session. So this is what you have to do. So that's what this section is all about, and it's especially important that you get into some warm-ups before a special speech you're doing, a special presentation. It could be anything from best man speech at a wedding to an important corporate conference. But I know that many of you will be watching this, and you've got this training program to help you improve your voice generally. It's just as important to do these, and you don't have to do them all. Find the ones that you feel you are getting the most benefit from, and then get into a habit of doing them every day. Ideally first thing in the morning. Well, not very first thing. I'd say a drink first and a light breakfast, and then get into doing them. They shouldn't take you long at all. Your voice will start to improve. It'll be more flexible. You'll get more range in your voice. There are many, many benefits. But enough of me wittering on. Let's do those warm-ups. Now, we have covered stretching and relaxation in another module, but a good stretch to start your warm-up is always very, very useful. Just stretch your whole trunk and also your arms and your legs, anything else that you feel needs a bit of a shakeout. But shakeout is what we're going to do next. This is called jelly limbs. Basically, you're shaking your arms and your legs. Be very careful you don't overdo it. You don't want to jerk anything. It's just basically shaking them out. Your arms one at a time, and then your legs one at a time. Just make them feel like jelly. Really enjoy this. Now, when you're using your voice, the tension builds up in your shoulders and neck muscles. So it's so important to do some shoulder rolls. Just lift them up and try and rotate them if you can. Now my own body is getting a little bit stiff and I can't do these very well, but it's not a case of doing them well, it's a case of simply doing them as best as you can. Just do that shoulder roll as best as you can to get rid of the tension. Now, if you have a good friend who can give you a shoulder massage, a gentle one, then why not ask them to do that? It's very beneficial, but make sure it's not too hard. You can cause some issues by pushing too hard on those muscles and ligaments there. But you can do it yourself. Simply put your hand on the other shoulder, move it around a little bit, and that helps an awful lot in releasing tension. And now we continue our warm-up session by concentrating on the head, rotating the head from left to right, and back again. Very, very gentle, don't overstretch it. And then some gentle head rolls, moving it around. And again, if you hear any cricking or cracking sounds, just take it easy. You'll do a little bit more each day. So, what about the mouth itself? Start off by biting an imaginary apple. Just take a great big bite there. Just do that 3 or 4 times. And you can almost taste that apple, the imaginary apple. You're salivating it. Now imagine you're chewing a huge ball of gum. Oh, it's so good. And it's really there in your mouth. Chew away. That's really going to get those muscles toned up. Next, standing up and as relaxed as you can be, let the jaw drop. I mean, really drop. Like one of those wooden ventriloquist dummy, you know? Just let it go like that. And it's dropped, and it comes back up, and you just drop it again, comes back up. Just do this about 6 times, and just really relax. Make sure you just drop the thing. Okay, let's exercise a new set of muscles in this area. This is called a silent laugh. And this was taught to me by my wife, who's in a choir. I thought it was a silly idea, but actually it works very well. And it does exercise muscles that the other ones don't touch. It's funny what a laugh can do. And your shoulders move around as well, so it gives the whole of the upper torso a good workout. Have a good laugh, eh? You got a laugh, ain't you, eh? Next, I want you to get your thumb, put it on your chin, move it back till you get to the soft part under the tongue, and move it in a circular motion. And imagine you're making the tongue very soft, very pliant. And I know you're not, but it's so good to do that. And at the same time, I want you to yawn. Now, have you heard of the expression, a stiff upper lip? It's usually describing a British person who doesn't want to show emotion. Keep a stiff upper lip, men. Oh, absolutely. Don't show emotion now. But basically, we don't want any of that. Nothing stiff, everything loose. So here's a great lip loosening exercise. Pretend you're very cold. I mean, really cold. And do that a few times. Really relax. Make sure the tension isn't coming back in your shoulders and neck. Really relax. And now we're going to try going up and down the scale. Up first to low. And up. And keep on doing this. Take a really good gulp of air. This is doing it so good, and it should start to tingle. Now, you probably realize by now these sorts of exercises aren't the ones that you could practically do on a crowded commuter train on the way into London Paddington Station. No, it's best to be on your own, really. The next one in particular is a little bit embarrassing. It's the tongue. You've got to release the tension in the tongue. You stick it out, it goes back in, you stick it out, comes back in, and you make a sound like an emergency vehicle. You can even add the Doppler effect if you like. Watch this. The things I do. Right, but it's so important. My tongue is all loosened up. Again, with all these exercises, be very careful you don't overdo it. You're not stretching your tongue out. You're simply moving it in an area where you are controlling it. Let's do that one more time. This time we'll go up, shall we? And get faster and faster. But as I say, with all these exercises, you don't have to do them exactly a minute or 2 minutes. It's till you know you've warmed up. And you'll find your favorites, the ones that you get the most benefit from. And you just write them down, just to go through the list. Soon you won't need that list because it'll be in your head, and you'll do them automatically in the morning, after a light breakfast, after your first cup of tea or coffee, and then it's down to work as a voiceover. But even as I say, if you're not a professional voiceover, all these exercises are so absolutely essential for improving the voice in general conversation. And we finish our visit to the gym with some range stretching exercises. Now, there's a whole section about range. It's very, very important. But just for this time, we're going to see how low we can get, how high we can get with some oohs. And so on. And try and get as many as you can in one breath. And we've got another section on breathing as well. There's a lot to do, you know. And let's finish this section completely with my famous QEQR exercise, which if you haven't got time to do anything else, just do this half a dozen times and do it correctly, and you will stretch your mouth in the right way so that you get to pronounce your words clearly. It gives you a little mini gym workout. QEQR. As simple as that. You don't even have to say the thing. You're just stretching your mouth, making it go as small as possible for the Q. Stretching it for the E. Q again, and like that. Half a dozen of those will set you right for your speech or presentation.